Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. All right. This is, by the way, Radhanath Maharaj, my Gurudev. Sorry that. Okay. Guru Parampara Prabhupada.
Okay.
Here are the first deities who came to our place. Nitai Navadvipnath. And then they brought Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. Here is Laddu Gopalji.
Jai.
And here is Kaliya Krishna. This is our forefathers deity. He's actually dancing on Kaliya. Because of dressing, you may not be able to see clearly.
Oh, beautiful.
But we began our Krishna consciousness from New Vrindavan. So we are adopted children of Sri Sri Radha Vrindavan Chandra. But here is the hero of today, Lakshmi Nrsimhadeva. Can everyone see him?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Yeah, amazing.
All right.
Jai.
So that is his lotus feet.
Jai.
And he is Lakshmi Nrsimhadeva. He's not Ugra Nrsimhadeva. He's Shanta Lakshmi Nrsimhadeva. He has a big smile, if you can see. There's a verse that Sripad Shankaracharya describes Lakshmi Nrsimhadeva. I'll start with that verse when I start the class, but I just wanted to give you a darshan of
Lakshmi Nrsimhadeva Bhagwan ki
Jai.
jai. Jai. Beautiful. Amazing darshan. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hari Hari.
When did you get them, Prabhu? Which year?
2017
Okay.
March, Prabhu.
Nice.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Raman Krishna Prabhu. Okay, I'll remove the spotlight. Yes. So Raman Krishna Prabhu will be joining us shortly. So if there is time towards the end, I just want to speak a little bit about Radha Raman Ji's pastimes today. Maybe 15 minutes. I just want to speak a little bit about some pastimes as they're heard from the Goswamis. So fortunately, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj is very close to the Goswamis who worship Radha Ramanji. And through Maharaj's mercy, we have received a lot of amazing pastimes. We have heard a lot of amazing pastimes of Radha Ramanji. And I want to share 2 or 3 of them today, time permitting. So let's see.
Prabhuji, why don't you start?
No, Prabhuji, please go ahead. This is not important, but I want.
Oh no!
No. The focus of the class is Lord Nrsimhadeva. Please.
Prabhuji, I might take 2 classes. Please don't wait for me.
Please. No. Please go ahead, bro. We can start even at 11 p.m. No problem.
All right.
The night is young.
Poor devotees. Okay. Hare Krishna. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much, Gaurakumar Prabhuji, for this opportunity. Because of Lakshmi Nrsimhadeva in our home, I got this opportunity to speak today. Gaurakumar Prabhuji said, I know you like Nrsimhadeva, please give this class. I'm going to go and share the slides. Prabhu disabled Dara.
I just gave you permission, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. screen. All right, are you able to see the slides?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, clear.
All right. So thank you again so much for having me here. It gave me a really nice opportunity for me to go over Nrsimha Leela. We have morning Bhagavatam calls where we read Srimad Bhagavatam, and I was going through chapter by chapter summaries to prepare for this talk. So thank you all so much for giving me this opportunity so I can absorb myself in the pastimes of Nrsimhadeva, especially the appearance of Nrsimhadeva. So the talk is titled Jai Nrsimha, and there is a reason for it, and you will know about it midway through the presentation. We will start with this beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, from Canto 7, Chapter 8, verse number 17. I think many of you know this verse, so I'll just recite this. Satyam vidhatum nija bhritya bhashitam vyaptim cha bhuteshu akhileshu chatmanaha adrishyata atyadbhuta rupamudvahan stambhe sabhayam namrugam namanusham. So the translation by His Divine Grace Abhay Charan Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So to prove that the statement of his servant Prahlad Maharaj was substantial, in other words, to prove that the Supreme Lord is present everywhere, even within the pillar of an assembly hall, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari exhibited a wonderful form never before seen. The form was neither that of a man nor that of a lion. Thus the Lord appeared in his wonderful form in the assembly hall. So that's the translation. We'll start with the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. All right. So one time somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, what should I do when I get angry with my spouse? So then Srila Prabhupada said, it's a very practical question, right? So Prabhupada gave a very practical answer also. He said, just remember Nrsimhadeva. Then remembering the unlimited anger of Nrsimhadeva, unke samne, in front of that Nrsimhadeva anger, what is our anger? Right? We'll be like Chintu Pintu in front of Nrsimhadeva. So then Prabhupada said that, and devotee was like, Jai Prabhupada. So, compared to the sages' anger in Srimad Bhagavatam, when you see, they pluck out a hair and there is a demon coming out, remember? Demons coming out of hair. Can you imagine US Army, if they know this technology, they would want it first, right? So this transcendental anger form of Lord Vishnu is Nrsimhadeva. Every avatar has their own Leela, right? When Lord Ram came, he was Lavanya and Saumya, very, very sweet. When Nrsimhadeva came, there is this avatar, right? There is no Balya Leela for Nrsimhadeva, right? He comes and immediately performs the surgery and he leaves, right? So that is this very, very special Lord Nrsimhadeva. So also wanted to begin with Lakshmi Nrsimhadeva, our beloved deities. So Sripad Shankaracharya in Lakshmi Nrsimha Karavalamba Stotram, he writes this beautiful verse, so I just wanted to recite it. The meaning is very relevant to the darshan that you just took. Ekena chakrama parena karena shankham anyena sindhu tanayam avalamya tishtan vame karena varada bhaya padma chitnam Lakshmi Nrsimha mama dehi karavalambam. So this exactly describes the form that you're looking at. In one hand, you hold the Sudarshana chakra. In another hand, you hold the Panchajanya conch. Another hand rests on the waist of the daughter of the ocean, right? Sindhu Tanaya is Lakshmiji. And the fourth hand signifies that you bestow boons and drive away the fear of the devotees. And that hand is this hand that you guys took darshan of. And the lotus feet are somewhere here. Oh, right here. O Lakshmi Nrsimha, please provide me the support of your hands. So every verse in this stotra ends with Lakshmi Nrsimha Mama Dehi Karavalambam, which means, O Lakshmi Nrsimha, please provide me the support of your hands. So that's what it is. So we all can recite that part. If you're not familiar with the whole verse, you can say Lakshmi Nrsimha Mama Dehi Karavalambam. Please take care of us personally with your hands. That's it. Okay. All right. So as my usual practice, I wanted to begin this class with a sincere acknowledgement to our Bhakti Vriksha. This is our Bhakti Vriksha in Pine Brook, New Jersey, which will probably be, I don't know, we are doing it remotely right now, but we will be very soon moving to Baltimore. And we will be missing. We are very, very unfortunate to leave like this. We'll be missing. And just to share with you guys, because you are also very, very close to me, this Mataji, she left the planet on the day of Sri Ram Navami. She was a very, very avid reader of Ramcharitmanas. She was Bhakti Charu Maharaj's Brahmin initiated disciple. She got cancer in 2016. She survived. She was doing very well, but then the relapse was strong. Came back. The cancer came back, and that Mataji is not with us anymore. After we got our Lakshmi Nrsimhadeva deities, Manradhika Mataji, she also got Lakshmi Nrsimhadeva deities, and these are her deities. And this talk is a small dedication to her. She's she's very, very close to us. She's like our family. We miss her very, very much. We really, even now, we actually feel that one day she will join the call. It is like that. So I request you all to please give your blessings and prayers for her journey back to Nrsimhadev, journey back to Ram. Thank you so much. This Mataji always used to, she's a Bank of America manager, and she always used to tell us very, very cool things. She was an encyclopedia of memory. She used to remember all Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam verses. But in particular, she used to give us these tidbits that we always used to remember. She would give new definitions for everything. So one time she came to our Bhakti Vriksha and she said, you know what ASAP means? And everybody said, as soon as possible. We all know that. And she said, ASAP means always say a prayer. That's what she taught us. And I'm just passing that to you. Always say a prayer. And now please say a prayer for her as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. If I can just say a couple of sentences.
Please, Prabhu.
So, Vishal Prabhu, if you remember, we went to their house.
Yeah.
And we met Mataji. So that was my first and last time that I actually met Mataji. And we clearly remember how nicely Mataji took care of us. She was very bubbly, even though she had cancer. We didn't even know that she had cancer. She was very bubbly, took care of us nicely, made us feel comfortable, and very generous, very generous. She made us measure the width of the altar and very nicely told us how to take care of the altar. And she had so much devotion. She was talking about how she dresses the deities, and it's just amazing to see such wonderful souls who have dedicated their lives for serving deities and serving devotees. So I was very, very fortunate to meet Mataji, and thank you, Raman Krishna Prabhu, for dedicating today's talk for her. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again for allowing me to do that, Gaurakumar Prabhu. Thank you so much. Okay, so after that, I will start today's class. Prabhuji, time is already 9:26.
Okay, Prabhu, you can go as long as you want. It's going to end time.
All right. So today's topic is going to be inspired by Nrsimhadeva, inspired by Prahlada Nrsimhadeva. I split this into three parts. What is our consciousness? What must be our consciousness? And what is the ultimate goal of this? So on this occasion of Nrsimhadeva appearance, which we recently celebrated, we'll talk about these three questions, right? Any spiritual journey should seek these three questions. Where are we right now? What is the right way to go? And what is the destination, right? Any spiritual process for that matter. You can take any religion, Buddhism. Today is also Gautama Buddha's appearance, right? So any religion for that matter, you can take. These three basic questions. Where are we right now? What is the destination? And what is the way to go, right? And so those questions are very, very synonymous to what you're seeing on the slides. What is my consciousness? What must be my consciousness? And what is my ultimate goal, right? So there's one Mataji in our Bhakti Vriksha. She's not joining online. Gaurakumar Prabhu may not know her, but she works for Facebook. She works for WhatsApp. Matlab, she works free for all these companies. What that means is that she is very active on Facebook and WhatsApp. So much so that I'm calling that she works for those companies, right? So she posts some meaningful messages sometimes. So ek baar unhone, so can everybody understands Hindi, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Everyone gets it. Yeah, everyone here understands.
Also, we are missing one Mataji then.
Yeah, she didn't join today, Prabhuji. She has rounds left. She just texted on the group.
Acha. Okay.
Paul Prabhu might not get Hindi though.
Oh yeah, Paul.
Paul Prabhu. Okay. I will translate it for you, Prabhu. So it might not sound so humorous when I translate it, but I'm going to try. So she shared me one time this thing. It said, "Wafa ko dhoonne nikle galib, Wi-Fi mila wahin pe baith gaye." So this person, he went in search of Wafa, means love, but he found Wi-Fi and he sat there. So he got distracted and he sat there. So we have so many distractions on our path to the ultimate goal. One devotee, he went to pick up some rice that was being sold on sale. On sale, matlab crazy ho jate hai desis, right? On sale, matlab hyper, temperatures badh jate. So one devotee, he went to pick up a rice bag which was on sale. So he went to pick that up. But then when he went to the mall, he got distracted royally. So he got 10 things that he never needed. He bought 10 things that he never needed. So he got them home, and then the wife asked, right, what are these? Then he realized, why did I even buy them? Right? So Socrates once went to a shop, and he was taking a long time. He was like looking around, and he was taking a really, really long time. The shopkeeper came and he asked Socrates, "What's going on? Why are you taking so long?" And Socrates said, "I just realized that there are so many things in this shop that I don't need." That's what he said. This is exactly what this material world is. This material world is full of distractions. Is full of distractions that will cover us from our ultimate goal. So that is why we need to constantly work on ourselves. That's why we need to constantly work on ourselves, right? Because if we don't do that, we'll become complacent, right? So this is where gurus or teachers come to our rescue. I cannot remember anybody else other than Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, who's probably one of the best life-changing teachers in my own life now. So Srila Prabhupada, in this 7th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, where this pastime is narrated, Srila Prabhupada, in one of the purports, he talks about 4 verses from Bhagavad Gita, and he summarizes the whole Bhagavad Gita. 4 verses, and he summarizes the whole Bhagavad Gita. Does anybody want to guess one of the verses or 2 of the verses? What do you think is one of the verses?
Janma karma cha me divyam.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Very nice.
I'll let anyone else speak.
One would be Sarva Dharman Parityajya.
Yes, very, very nice, Prabhu. Jitendra Prabhu. Yes, very good.
Oh, Manmana Bhava Madbhakto.
Manmana Bhava. Shivas Prabhu, Haribol. Yes, Manmana Bhava.
I think, just guessing, Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam.
From Chatushloki, right? You would want to guess that. 4 verses from Chatushloki. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, so so the first verse Srila Prabhupada says is Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hrideshe Arjuna Tishtati. Brahmayam Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rudhani Maya. He says Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart, but this jiva is illusion, is very much illusion that it is riding on this machine of material energy. Right? That's the step 1. Then he says Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto Matashriti Jnanam Apohanam Cha Vedaischa Sarveraham Vedyo Vedanta Krit Veda Videva Chaham. So there he says, I'm sitting in everyone's heart. From me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness, right? And use this knowledge. That's what Krishna is saying, right? That's the second verse. The third verse, Jitendra Prabhu guessed, is Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. So Krishna is saying, that is why use the knowledge I gave you, remember me, take my shelter, forget the past, and I will give you protection to come out of the illusion. Then Raman Krishna Das says, so this we have heard so many times, right? This we have heard so many times. We will surrender, but not right now. What's so hurry? We will surrender, but not right now. So then Srila Prabhupada says, you fool, you rascal, Janma karma cha me divyam, and also Bahunam Janmanamante. After many births, you got this opportunity, which is Sudurlabha, very, very rare. Take it right now, take it. So Srila Prabhupada, he wrote an article on Back to Godhead, and the title of the article was No Time. No time. Because looking at that picture, we would have never guessed. I don't want to show or point to people who I would have guessed that they would leave the world. But we would have never guessed that this Mataji would leave so early. She went for a routine checkup to a hospital nearby. And they were draining water from her lungs, which is a side effect of cancer. And obviously they gave her anesthesia. She didn't make it back. That's it. It is impossible for us to believe that. Even today, it is impossible. It hasn't sunk in yet. So there is absolutely no time. It's a very, very serious thing that needs to sink in more and more into us as well, right? Okay. So now let's begin with the first part. That is, what is my consciousness? Right? What is our consciousness? And again, I'm speaking for myself, so please treat it like that. I am speaking for myself this whole class. Yeah. So the first part is, what is my consciousness? So Hiranyakashipu, he saw his brother Hiranyaksha being killed in the hands of Yes, yes, Varahadev. Yes, thank you. So Varahadev came and killed Hiranyaksha. And this is one example to teach us that the Lord will come in any form to protect Dharma. He can even take the form of a pig to protect Dharma. No, he came as a boar. And even that form was really, really beautiful because that's the Supreme Lord. Right? Even that form was really, really beautiful. So when this happened, Hiranyakashipu, he orders demolitions of temples, killing the Brahmanas, spoiling the sacrifices, demolishing the ashramas, demolishing temples, demolishing the bridges. These are the things that he orders. Now, if you go back to the recent Indian history, can you guys think of any such episodes?
Prabhu, Mughal attack on India.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Mughals demolishing the temples. So ashramas are also where the schools were. Yeah, so they were being destroyed as well. So Mughals actually destroyed 2 international universities that we had in India. Those were Nalanda and Takshashila. 2 really, really famous international universities where students used to come from China, Europe, Greece. They were demolished completely. Some libraries, the biggest libraries in the world, they were burned by Mughals. So, and then even more recent, actually even my father actually studied in that system where free education and free boarding and lodging for students. This used to happen until recent times. I think it's happening in some villages even today. They are called agraharas. They're these villages, special villages, where these are done. Free education, free food, and free lodging are provided for students. The reason is because education must never be made a paid commodity. This is our sampradaya. This is our culture. This is Arsha Sampradaya, or this is Rishi Sampradaya. For this, you know what British did? They abolished this system. And so when they abolished it, people were still doing it. Then they put in taxes on people who were doing this. Polygars and village heads who were doing these, British put taxes on them. So in order to discourage this system, because they wanted to sell education. Can you imagine selling Mother Saraswati? Can you imagine selling a mother? We would never do such a thing because this is our tradition. But British did that. So anyway, going back to the pastime, when Hiranyaksha died, so his brother died, right? So Hiranyakashipu, he's pacifying. He's pacifying his mother Diti, his sister-in-law Rishabhanu, and the nephews. They were all being pacified by Hiranyakashipu. So how do you pacify? So he's telling them, you're not this body, you're a spirit soul. And Hiranyaksha is not the body, but he's a spirit soul. Now he has departed, but he continues to live because he's a spirit soul. Bade classes there. He's giving big classes, yeah? So in this class, he's actually narrating the pastime of a king of a kingdom called Ushinara, and his name is Suyagnya. And this king dies. He goes to war and he dies. The wives are not letting the body go of this king. The wives are sitting around the body and crying. They're not letting the body to be cremated. Then Yamaraj himself, Lord Yama, the Lord of Death, he comes to explain to these wives. He takes pity on them and he comes to explain these wives that the person you're looking for has departed already, right? This is only the body that's lying. And so Hiranyakashipu is describing this pastime to Mother Diti and Mother Rishabhanu and the nephews. He's describing this pastime. Sabko samajh mein aa raha hai. Everybody is understanding. Who is not understanding? The speaker himself, right? That's why this class is to myself, okay? So the speaker was the only person who was not getting the message that he was giving. So what this guy does, he starts to meditate. He goes to meditation on Mandara mountain. He wants to meditate for 80,000 years to please Lord Brahma. And what are his desires? He wants to become eternal. He wants to be happy all the time. He wants to become eternal. He wants to become the king of the kings. Just now he was preaching that you're not this body, you're a spirit soul. The body will die, the body will perish. But he goes to Lord Brahma and he says, I want this body to be eternal. This is what he's saying, right? So Srila Prabhupada actually talks about this hypocrisy, right? This hypocrisy in demons or demoniac personalities. So this is a question to ourselves. If we have hypocrisy, then we have some tinge, yeah, of that demoniac nature within us, right? So now, so we are seeing that this Hiranyakashipu, he goes and he prays to Brahma, right? Brahmaji, demigod. Antavattu phalam tesham tad bhavati alpa medhasam. This is a verse from Bhagavad Gita where it says, men of small intelligence approach demigods. One offering and you will have millions of desires. You know, this is our habit too, right? Ek coconut offer kiya and we have 1 lakh desires list. You know, ye exam pass karwa do, wo exam pass karwa do, thoda green card dilwa do, thoda job dilwa do. You have a long list of desires. And what you will offer? 1 coconut, right? 1 offering, millions of desires. Us hisab se dekha jaye to every pujari should become Pradhan Mantri, right? Right? Sab pujari Pradhan Mantri banenge. Right? You offer incense, you ask 1 million desires. You know? So now this is the time we need to question ourselves also. How are we treating Krishna as? You know, there are so many verses to justify our mentality, right? Akama sarva kamova. If you don't have desires or if you have desires, go to Vishnu, go to Krishna. So, gaye Krishna ke paas. We went to Krishna and we opened all our desires. Are we asking him for pure love of God then? No, we are asking him for our desires, yeah? If we are doing that, we are treating him as a demigod. We are treating him as a bellboy. Bell bajare, asking for desires. This is something to ask ourselves, yeah? So, one person, he went to Mother Kali and he asked for and he said, Mother Kali came in his dream and he said, Ma, I will offer you a goat. Please fulfill my desire. So Mother Kali, she was very pleased and said, okay, chalo theek hai, okay, fine. So she immediately fulfilled the desire. So next night she came and she asked him, where's the goat? Where's the sacrifice that you said? The guy said, oh, the goats are now very expensive, so I'm not able to offer now. Please come next week. Kalima came next week and she asked, what happened? The goats are still expensive. So then she said, okay, then at least offer a chicken. Then he said, okay, I will try. And then she came next time and then again the same thing. Chicken became very expensive. Abhi kya kare? Then Kalima was like, so what should I do now? Then this guy was like, okay, there are so many flies flying around, eat one of them. Kalima ekdam ek jhapad diya unhone. She gave a jhapad. So this is what happens with the demigods, right? So this is the kind of bluffing mentality that people have, we have, right? So this Hiranyakashipu, he asked for immortality and Brahma just said, hey, I don't even have that. Well, how can I give it to you, right? So then he started bluffing. Not inside, not outside, not on the ground, not in the air, not a man, not an animal. You know, so he was thinking that I'm the bluff master, but he didn't know that Krishna is the real bluff master, right? It's not Abhishek Bachchan, but Krishna is the bluff master, right? So Krishna says in Gita, of the bluffers, I'm the bluff master. So one time Akbar Birbal, you know, right? We are all familiar with. So one time Akbar, he was challenging everybody that I'm the one who is feeding all the people. I'm the one who is maintaining all the people. How come they are saying that God is greater? I'm greater than God, isn't it? So he started asking this question. And whoever denied, they were exiled out of the kingdom. They were banished from the kingdom. So whoever said, no, God is greater, Akbar would throw them out of the kingdom. So then it was the turn of Birbal. Birbal came and Akbar asked the same question. Who do you think is greater, me or God? Then Birbal said, Ekdam chata jaise slap answer dete hain, Birbal. So he said, you are greater. So then Akbar, he was very humbled immediately because he was thinking that Birbal will open his eyes. But Birbal, he said, no, you are greater than God. Then Akbar asked, why did you say that? Then Birbal said, you can banish anybody out of your kingdom, but God cannot do that. God cannot banish anybody out of his kingdom. The reason is because God is everywhere, his kingdom is everywhere. Where will he banish to? Right? Ekdam chatavi. That slap, tight slap, then Akbar opened his eyes. Oh, please forgive me, my mistake. Yeah. So that's that Krishna is the bluff master. The problem is that we sometimes use our deities, use our Krishna to ask for material desires. Obviously, we are all practicing devotees, aspiring devotees. We all ask for material desires, but if we become like Hiranyakashipu, then we are speaking spiritualism, but living materialism. That becomes a problem. So we need to be careful, right? So now, one verse really explains what is the consciousness of Hiranyakashipu. What are the qualities of Hiranyakashipu? Sa itham nirjita kakub ekarad vishayan priyan yathopajosham bhunjano na tripyad ajitendriyaha. Na tripyad ajitendriyaha. These two qualities. Never satisfied. Ajitendriyaha, senses not controlled. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, in spite of achieving the power to control in all directions, and in spite of enjoying all types of dear sense gratification as much as possible, Hiranyakashipu was dissatisfied because instead of controlling his senses, he remained their servant. So this is kind of like an autobiography, right? When you think about it, this is kind of like, ye to meri kahani. This is my story. Yeah. So Hiranyakashipu, he was always drunk. Whenever you go near him, you would smell strong wines and liquors. And when Krishna meets the Pandavas in Vanavas, he actually tells them that these 4 things will destroy anybody: gambling, hunting, illicit sex, intoxication. Hunting, the hunting ke baad kya hota hai? Meat eating hota hai, right? So he says gambling, hunting, illicit sex, intoxication are the 4 evils that will destroy and deprive a person. So Hiranyakashipu, he was always drunk. And he was being worshipped by everybody except Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. He was being worshipped by everybody. So everybody will come to his court and they were singing his prayers. Narada Muni, when he tells this episode to Yudhishthira Maharaj, he actually tells him that Narada Muni himself, Tumburu, Vishwavasu, Vidyadharas, Apsaras, and all the sages, they were all lined up and they were offering prayers to Hiranyakashipu. Can you imagine what kind of a kick that gives? Forget cocaine, right? Forget meth. This is a kick at another level. Yeah. This is like the ultimate kick, okay? So now Hiranyakashipu was thinking, how great of a how great of a personality I am. So imagine if a devotee is glorified, he passes the credit to his guru, his Parama Guru, the Guru Parampara. But here is a personality who was glorifying himself. So this just shows that he was so filled with himself, self-centered. Okay. So Hiranyakashipu was really riding high, right? And everybody was in fear. Almost everybody became jobless because all the departments are now care of Hiranyakashipu, right? Now Chandra, Varuna, they were sweeping. Indra was cutting bhaji. Indra was cutting vegetables. They were trembling in fear for no reason. And this guy will come anytime and he will call servants. He will give them tight slap, and the servant would dare to ask. The servant would be looking, why did you slap? What mistake did I do? And he will be like, just like that. I felt like slapping, I just did. He was really, really riding this highway, right? Now, going back to that Natripyad Ajitendriyaha, he had all the opulences, but he was Natripyad, never satisfied, Ajitendriyaha, because uncontrolled senses. The biggest lesson of this canto, the biggest lesson is that happiness cannot be bought by money. Happiness cannot be purchased. Jim Carrey, I think many of you know him, right? Jim Carrey, he says, I wish everyone had wealth and riches. That way, everybody would know that there is no happiness there. This is what Jim Carrey said. So there is a very beautiful verse in Lakshmi Shankaravalamba Stotram that says, Andhasya mehrita viveka mahadhanasya chaurai prabho balibhirindriya namadheyai mohandha kupa kuhare vinipati tasya Lakshmi Nrsimha mama dehi karavalambam. So there Sripad Shankaracharya is saying that senses have stolen my intelligence. Andhasya me, they have blinded me. Hrita viveka, stolen my viveka. Viveka is the discriminatory intelligence that you use to differentiate nitya anitya vastu viveka. What is eternal? What is temporary? That discriminatory power is intelligence. That is being stolen by my senses. Because when senses steal your intelligence, you think that this is true. This is true. My cell phone is my world. My car is my world. You start associating with these things. So this is the state of consciousness. Now Hiranyakashipu, sabko chance milta hai, right? Hiranyakashipu also got his chance through his son. Hiranyakashipu had 4 sons. Does anybody know the names of them? Hiranyakashipu had 4 sons, Anuhlada, and one of them is Hlada. And Hlada, his son was Sunda, and he was the husband of Tataki, who we encountered in Ramayana. Okay. Then was Prahlada, and then 4th was Samhlada. Now, when I said that in some class, they were thinking, "Acha isko yaad nahi hai." That's why he said Samhlada. No, but his name is actually Samhlada, like Samskrita, right? His name is Samhlada, S-A-M. Okay, all right. So now this guy, his heart, this Hiranyakashipu, his heart became very, very hard. And our acharyas, they explain why his heart became hard. And these are the 4 reasons they give: pretense, impersonalism, atheism, and offenses. These are the 4 things that will make your heart harder. Okay. One is pretense, right? Itna bada bhashan diya unko, right? He didn't get it, right? Hypocrisy, right? Pretense. Impersonalism, right? He is thinking that he is the supreme controller. Impersonalism. Atheism. He's thinking that there is no God. He's the God, right? And offenses. He hurt Go Brahmana he demolished schools, he demolished ashrams, right? And he disconnected people by demolishing the bridges, right? He did all these things. So these are the four things: pretense, impersonalism, atheism, and offenses. Now, pretense, right? I just wanted to give one example. One day we were working very, very hard in one temple kitchen. And there were some devotees who were not doing anything. They were just hanging there. Haribol, Haribol gang, you know. They're just hanging there. Suddenly, I got my camera. I wanted to take some pictures so I can put them in the class, in the slides. Immediately, those Haribol devotees, they picked up a broom. One devotee picked up a knife and he was chopping vegetables for no reason. Sab log services karne lage. This is pretense, okay? This is pretense. So one person was already pot washing. I was like, "Arey bhai, cooking kiya hi nahi abhi tak, pot washing shuru kar diya aapne." Right? So this is pretense. The second one is impersonalism. So impersonalism, many of us know, right? What is impersonalism? Many of us know. What is that? Impersonalism means we are thinking that God is ultimately impersonal energy, right? That is one type of explanation. But there is one other type of explanation. When people care about mission only, and when they forget about devotees as people, right? Then they become impersonal. When you're hurting the devotees and you're painting the walls of a temple, then you are impersonal. Because mission became important, but what is making that mission? The devotees, the deities, right? If devotees are hurt, deities will be immediately hurt. Yeah? So that's impersonalism also. The next is atheism. So one boy, he came from the school and he approached his dad and he said, "Dad, my teachers are teaching me in school that we all came from monkeys." Then the dad said, "Yes, beta, that is true. We evolved from apes. We evolved from monkeys." Then this boy, he was so innocent. He went to his mom and he asked, "Mom, Dad is saying that we came from monkeys." And so mom said, so this boy asked mom also the same question, right? But mom said, "No, beta, we came from people." But dad says we came from monkeys. So then mom said, "Beta, both the answers are right. Your dad side, all the people, they came from monkeys. Mom side, all the people, they came from human beings." This is what she told him. So atheism is when we are talking about creationism and evolution. When you get these funny laboratory examples and you want to claim, you want to comment on creationism or evolution, these are really, really big concepts, okay? And these need big data sets. And you just don't want to come with one laboratory example and you want to propose your big theory. Of course, I will not say this on campus. This is just between us. Right? And the final one is offenses. People, when they are treated as resources, they will be offended. People, when they are treated as commodities, they will be offended. So we need to be very, very careful. We need to be very, very, very careful. So there are three reasons Acharyas explain why anybody falls down. One is negligence, the other is offenses, and the third is Krishna's will. Negligence, offenses, and Krishna's will. So you cannot commit an offense. You cannot slap a devotee and you say it is Krishna's will, right? You cannot act irresponsibly and you cannot say it is Krishna's will. One time in Charanamrita, in the US, unfortunately, the sugar and salt look alike, right? One devotee, instead of putting sugar in Charanamrita, he put salt by mistake. And he offered it to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada tasted Charanamrita and then it was salty. So Srila Prabhupada asked this, salty? And then the devotee replied, "It is Krishna's will." Then Srila Prabhupada, he immediately said, "It is not Krishna's will. It is your stupidity." Okay, so when Jai Vijay, when they fell down, they incarnated as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So in this pastime that may be happening, but when we fall down, it's not for our glorification, but it is for our purification. Okay, so we need to be very, very careful with these. All right. So and then Hiranyakashipu asked his very, very dear son Prahlad. You know, he's very, very dear. He hugged him and he sat him on his lap and he asked, "What did you learn in school, beta? What did you learn in school today?" And you know, in India or here, when kids are reciting rhymes in English, we feel, oh, kya sweet language. You know, we feel like that, right? Here also, he wanted to hear some music to his ears, and then Prahlad comes and he says, Tat sadhu manye suravarya dehinam sada samudvigna dhiyam asadgrahat hitvatma patam grihamandha kupam vanam gato yad harimashrayeta. Take shelter of Hari. This is what this is what Prahlad Maharaj said. So he said, you might be thinking that this is mine, this is yours, but stop thinking like that and take shelter of Hari. Hurry up, take shelter of Hari. This is what Prahlad Maharaj told his dad. Now, can you imagine? Somebody killed your brother, and your son is coming to you and is saying, take his shelter. Who killed your brother? Take his shelter. He got furious. And Hiranyakashipu heard the name of Hari. Dimag kharab ho gaya unka. He called Shanda Amarka and he asked them, अरे मैंने आपके ट्यूशन को भेजा मैंने, इतना फीस भरा मैंने. What are you teaching? What are you teaching my son? How come he learned all this? And Shanda Amarka, they were petrified. They were like, we didn't teach him this. We did not teach him this. We don't know how he learned all this. Then Hiranyakashipu, he thought of Parapaksha Samahitaha. How come he's speaking the language of opposition party? Parapaksha. Aise kaise? So he asked, so let's do this then. Let's put some spies, okay, and see and find out who is teaching him all this. So when he said about spies, I remember Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his preaching movement was really going great guns. At that time, British, they wanted to check, what is this guy doing? Okay, so they sent 2 spies. And these were very, very serious spies, yeah? So they were so natural that they got mingled with the devotees. They shaved up, and they will get up even before the devotees, and they're chanting rounds. They're reading Srimad Bhagavatam. They're attending all the lectures. They're eating prasadam. They're in the association of devotees. So they are doing their job very, very seriously, more serious than the devotees in the movement, actually. So ultimately, it happened that 2 months they joined full time. The spies that were hired by British, they joined full time. So this is what happens when you are in the association of devotees. When you're in the association of devotees, this is what happens. So this is first part. That's our state of consciousness, or my state of consciousness. The second part is what must be our consciousness. Prabhuji, it's 10 o'clock.
Please go ahead, Prabhu. Please go ahead. We can go till 10:30. And then we'll stop at 10:30 sharp. Yeah.
Is that okay?
Is
that okay?
Yeah, it's totally fine. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can. So what must be our consciousness? So here we are talking about 2 very, 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 very different personalities. One is Prahlad and the other is Hiranyakashipu. Both are actually father and son, but Zameen Asman, day and night difference between these 2 people. Prahlad is Jitendriya. He has full control of his senses. And Hiranyakashipu is Ajitendriya, no control over the senses. Prahlad, he is a very, very humble servant of gurus, teachers. He's very, very respectable to everybody. Hiranyakashipu is too busy with himself, and he doesn't respect anyone other than himself, right? Prahlad is like the best friend of everybody, and Hiranyakashipu is the worst enemy of everybody, right? Look at this, father and son, but complete different personalities, right? Prahlad was very much like a cultured, qualified Brahmana, Samo Damas Tapas Shaucham, right? He's very, 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 very cultured, qualified Brahmana. And Hiranyakashipu was, on the other hand, Natriptyad Ajitendriyaha, always agitated, never satisfied, never peaceful. And so when we talk about Prahlad, there are several verses in Srimad Bhagavatam that explain that Brahmanyam Shila Sampannam. He was endowed with good qualities, right? Yasmin Mahad Guna Rajan. It's like the best qualities you can imagine, Yudhishthira Maharaj. Narada Muni is explaining this. And Narada Muni uses this word, Krishna Graha Grihita Atma. It seems as though this person is controlled by a planet, is controlled by a Krishna Graha, a Krishna planet is controlling every action of this person. This is what he says. Now, Srila Prabhupada, in that purport, he writes that many people are afraid of planets controlling us. It's very intimidating sometimes. So Ravanasura, in order to overcome this fear, you know what he did? Ravanasura, we were talking about Ravanasura. He's also another form of Hiranyakashipu, right? So what he did, he had 9 steps to his throne. Those 9 steps were 9 planets. So he said, all the planets come here and bend down. So they were all bending like this. And he used to climb on them and go ascend his throne. One time Narada Muni came. And he's like, yeah, this is okay. But you know what? You should ask them to turn upside up. Instead of like this, they should turn like this. Then when you are climbing, when you're putting your feet on their chest, they can actually look in your face and they feel the insult more. And so Narada Muni, he gave this idea, and Ravana was like, wow, brilliant idea. And then he said, okay, all of you turn this side. And so everybody were staring at Ravanasura, and then he would climb the steps. And then Vinashakale Viparita Buddhi, Saturn looked at Ravana. That's how the end came. All right. So Krishna Graha Grahitatma, in that actually Prahlad Maharaj explains that the qualities in me are not mine, but these qualities I got because of the association of devotees. So one time there was this one devotee in Chaupati. He was addicted to alcohol. So his counselor, he told him, don't give up alcohol, but don't give up association of devotees. You drink jitna chaho you can drink, but come in the association of devotees. So he used to come attend the Bhakti Vrikshas, but bottle bahar chhod ke aate the. Bottle he used to keep it outside. Come attend the Bhakti Vriksha, Mahaprasad Govinda, then he will take Mahaprasad. He used to do that, and he kept doing that. A day came when he gave up alcohol, and he strongly held the association. That is because of association. That's what an association can do for us, right? If he was in the US, they would prescribe him some medications or therapies or rehab or whatnot. Right? If he came to me, then I would propose him a new technology to stimulate his brain or something. Dimag kharab karke uska. So association did the trick. That's what it is, right? So, and then the next is, what must be our consciousness? Now, let's think about what Hiranyakashipu asked for. He wanted to be immortal and peaceful. Do you want to be immortal and peaceful? Just ask yourself, right? We are not this body, we are spirit soul, right? Right? So as a soul, we are immortal. As a soul, we are eternal. As a soul, we are Anandamaya Abhyasat, right? right? Anandamaya Abhyasa, we are peaceful eternally. That is what Hiranyakashipu was asking for. Usme kya galti hai bhai? What is mistake in that? Hiranyakashipu is asking, he wants to be immortal, he wants to be peaceful, right? And he wanted his son to be a great materialist. He wanted his son to be successful. He was a king. He wanted his son to be a powerful king like him. Usme kya problem hai? The problem is he wanted to be peaceful in Dukkhalaya. In this world of misery, he wanted to be peaceful. That was the problem. In this world of ashashvatam, non-permanent, right? Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. In this world of non-permanence, he wanted to be immortal. This was the problem that Hiranyakashipu had. And then the second problem is about his son, right? Bhishmadev tells Yudhishthir Maharaj that there only two people are happy in this world. One is a foolish man, and the other is a man whose senses are controlled. These are the two people. A foolish man is happy, and completely opposite, a man who has controlled his senses, he can be happy in this world. This is what Bhishmadev tells Yudhishthir Maharaj. So Hiranyakashipu was thinking about Pitra Dharma, as a father, his duty, to make his son successful. Okay, great, take away. But the problem was he totally forgot about Krishna Dharma. That's the problem. He totally forgot about Krishna Dharma. That is the problem. So there is this verse that Prahlad Maharaj says, "Blind following the blind. Blind following the blind. Blind following the blind, kya hoga? Everybody will fall in the ditch, right? If a leader is not setting the right direction, then the group follows and they will all fall in a ditch." This is what Prahlad Maharaj explains us, and he gives very, very, very big lessons. Because we're running out of time, so we'll see how much we can cover. Hippies, they were being completely deluded. They were exactly like blind following the blind. Some of them were taking drugs to realize God. To them, Srila Prabhupada gave Krishna consciousness. And hippies, when they took to Krishna consciousness, they didn't know many things. Okay, they didn't know many things. So one time, one hippie, he was a pujari in a temple, and he was offering dhoop to the deities. So the trainee, the mentor, he said, offer dhoop to the deities, and he said like this, and then so he was doing this, and then for half an hour he was doing that, because the teacher didn't come back and say stop, so he kept doing that. Pata nahi tha usko, right? And then in one other instance, these hippies, they were worshipping, they were doing Tulsi Puja, they were offering Tulsi Maharani Arati. Then for several months there was no contact with the trained devotees. So these hippies were thinking, look, our bhakti is so nicely flourishing. Tulsi Maharani is growing so tall, so big, so quickly. And then that summer, one devotee came, and he said that this is bamboo, Baba. This is not Tulsi. This is bamboo. That is why this is growing so rapid. And then they realized, so this is not our bhakti. This is bamboo. So for such people, blind following the blind, for such people, Srila Prabhupada gave Krishna consciousness, right? So, and then Prahlad Maharaj gives so many beautiful lessons. Kaumaro Acharet Pragyo. He says, time is now. Time is now for us to practice spirituality. Because when we are old, when our senses are weak, when our intelligence is dull, that's not the time to take up Krishna consciousness. This is the time to take up Krishna consciousness. So in the school, I remember actually very fondly my daughter Lalita. When she was 3 years old, she used to attend a daycare in Ellicott City, Baltimore, Maryland. And Radhe Govinda Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj's favorite tune, Radhe Govinda. She used to listen to that and she used to sing that in the daycare. In this daycare had 5-6 other kids and they all were singing the same Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda. One time I went to pick Lalita and all the kids were singing the same Radhe Govinda. And I thought that they were all from devotee families. But then the daycare lady told me that your daughter is teaching them all these things. Samalo usko. All right. So Prahlad Maharaj was actually doing that. He was making everybody chant Narayana, Narayana. So this is one lesson that we need to take, is that whenever you get an opportunity to take Krishna's name, take it. You say Krishna, he's there. Try it. Krishna. Try it. Krishna, he's there. We may not see him, but he's there. He's listening. All right. Whenever you get an opportunity, take Krishna's name. So one time, Amsterdam, they were opening a new temple. So Srila Prabhupada came for deity installation. But the problem was there was nothing there. No paraphernalia, no fruits, no flowers. So Prabhupada, he started this fire sacrifice. And he asked, where are the fruits? Then one devotee came and he said, Prabhupada, they made fruit salad out of it. No fruits. Where are the flowers? They're all made garlands out of it and they're hanging in the altar. There's no flowers, no fruits. Prabhupada was getting frustrated. And then they brought the deities. When they brought the deities, the altar, it was not fitting the deities. So then they actually had to tear apart the altar. In the front part, they actually had to tear it apart. So the devotees, some of the devotees, they started doing kirtan. Abhi kya kare yaar? I mean, kar rahe kaam, they're doing work, so let's play kirtan. So they were singing Hare Krishna, kartals and mridangas. They were going on. Media was there, recording this whole incident. Media was there, and they thought that this is the first ceremony, tearing the altar. This is what the first ceremony is going to be. They were recording with enthusiasm and they were reporting that this is the first ceremony and this is how it looks like. So Srila Prabhupada came out of there fuming. He did not like, he got really, really frustrated. And he was very, very angry with things are not happening properly. He was very, very frustrated. He came out. One hippie came there and he patted on Srila Prabhupada's shoulder and he said, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. To Srila Prabhupada. You know what Srila Prabhupada did? Immediately he picked up the beads. Immediately he picked up the beads. He felt somehow that Krishna came through this hippie and he's telling me to chant Hare Krishna. He started chanting Mahamantra. He heard the hippie. So this is something we need to remember. Whenever you get an opportunity, take the name of Krishna, right? Materialists or spiritualists, they do these three activities: activity, absorption, and alertness. Prahlad was showing these symptoms, and Hiranyakashipu was also showing these symptoms, but for completely different purposes. Okay? Activity is the body, absorption is the mind, and alertness is the intelligence. You need to engage. Kayena vacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmanava prakriti svabhava. Karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai narayanayati samarpayami. That's what Prahlad was doing. Narayanayati. He was offering everything to Narayana, but Hiranyakashipu was offering it to himself. So this is what our consciousness must be. All right. And then final conversation between Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad happens. And this is very, very disturbing. My son Prahlad, you rascal, he loves his son a lot, but unfortunately, this conversation is very, very disturbing, right? You know that when I'm angry, all the planets and the three worlds tremble, right? By whose power has a rascal like you become so impudent that you appear fearless and overstep my power to rule you, right? So, and then Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj is now stepping on his nerves now, okay? He's saying, my dear king, the source of my strength, of which you're asking, is also the source of your strength. This is what he's saying. And Hiranyakashipu is completely frustrated. Then he asks, okay, where is he? You keep calling him Supreme, Supreme. Where is he? Is he in this pillar? Show me God, right? Show me God. This question, Prabhupada got this question so many times. Show me God. And one time, one person got up and he was asking, can you show me God? Have you seen God? Then Prabhupada said, I am seeing God. I'm seeing the altar. You stood up in between. You're blocking. Sit down. I'm seeing God. This is what Srila Prabhupada said. So now Prahlad here did not say, he was not hesitating. Hiranyakashipu asked, is he in this pillar? And Prahlad was like, I don't know. Maybe he's there. Maybe he's not there. I don't know. This was not Prahlad's consciousness. He was very, very confident. Avashya Rakshibe Krishna Vishwasapa. This is Sharanagati, right? This is very, very advanced level of consciousness. He said, he's there. So in Ahobilam, where Nrsimhadeva appeared, this is in South India. This is about 6 to 7 hours from Hyderabad. Very, very close to us, and I keep going there all the time. I have some pictures to show you guys. In Ahobilam, it is called Nava Narasimha Kshetra. 9 Nrsimhadevas are there. It is said that there are 9 pillars in Hiranyakashipu's palace. 9 pillars. And so here, just to amplify the Leela, Nrsimhadev did not know which pillar Hiranyakashipu was going to break. So he went and sat in all the 9 pillars. That is why Ahobilam has 9 Nrsimhadevas. Jwala, Ahobila, Malola, Kroda, Karanja, Bhargava, Yogananda, Kshatravata, Pavana, Navamurtayaha. So those are the 9 Nrsimhadevas. I'll show you some pictures in just a little bit. So that takes us to the third part. That is, what is the ultimate goal? What is the ultimate goal? So this is the Jwala Nrsimha that you're seeing here. And they have some pastime as well, Nrsimhadev chasing Hiranyakashipu there. This is the place where Nrsimhadev appeared. And this is the Jwala Nrsimhadev. What you don't see in the picture is he's ripping him apart. Okay, this is in Ahobilam. The pillar is also there till today. Even that pillar is there. You can actually go and take darshan. So when Hiranyakashipu looked at this fierce form, Aho kimetan mrugendra rupam, he didn't understand. Nayam mrugo na pinaro vichitram. What is this form? He didn't understand what this form is. All right. So just like I was sharing, so this is the picture from Ahobilam. These are the 9 Nrsimhadevas. Jwala, this is the first Nrsimhadev. Jwala, Ahobila, Malola, Kroda or Varaha, Karanja, Bhargava, Yogananda, Kshatravata, Pavana, Navamurtayaha. 9 Nrsimhadevas. So if you go there, it'll take about 2-3 days to take darshan of all the Nrsimhadevas because they are all spread in the forest. He's a lion, yeah. They're all spread in the caves in the forest. They are each like 5 kilometers, 3 kilometers apart. There is no road. You have to trek in a jungle. You have to take some cavemen and you have to trek in the jungle. It's very, very adventurous. I've been there many, many, many times. It's one of my favorite kshetras. I had a video for you, but I'm not going to play this now because we are running short of time. But maybe we'll see at the towards the end. The ultimate goal, right? The ultimate goal is Antye Narayana Smriti. Ant kab hai? When is the end? We do not know. If I show that picture to you, the Bhakti Vriksha picture, would you have predicted that Mataji will be no more? Right? Ant kab hai? We do not know. We do not know. Especially, it's very, very easy to speak these naked truths. It's very, very easy to speak now because we are all in kind of anxiety and tension. Kab phone bachta hai pata nahi India se. This COVID, black fungus, mucormycosis, it's, not one, right? It's very, very tense situation all around, right? We don't know when is the end. That's why Krishna says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmara yudhyacha. Remember and act. That's what we have to do. We cannot not act, right? As a householder, as an employee, we wear different hats. As a devotee, we have to act. But remember him and act. If you remember me, you are with me. That's Krishna's promise to us, right? If you remember me, you are with me. So when I was preparing for this class, this was in 2017 when I was preparing for this class, I was listening to Gaurang Prabhuji's lecture when I was driving to my campus. And suddenly this bus popped up from nowhere. It was right in front of me. And I could see this Lion King. Immediately मैंने cell phone निकाला और एक picture ले लिया मैंने. And I sent this picture to Gaurang Prabhu, who is my one of my counselors as well. So, and he replied, Jai Nrsimha. That is why this presentation is named Jai Nrsimha. I was listening to his lecture, and there's a place where he sings Nrsimha prayers in that lecture. And when he was singing Ito Narasimha Parato Narasimha, this Lion King appeared. I was really touched by that. And then the next day, this appeared. I don't know how many of you are able to see the slides. It says boar's head brand, Varaha. Nrsimhadeva appeared, and then Varaha also appeared. So then I was waiting for Prasad, because two deities appeared, there should be Prasadam, right? So now, Nrsimha Arati was introduced 2 years after ISKCON started by Srila Prabhupada. There was a bomb explosion in LA temple, and to give strength to the devotees, Srila Prabhupada introduced Nrsimha prayers at that time. 2 years after ISKCON was inaugurated, Srila Prabhupada introduced. So, I wanted to tell you about my Ahobilam Yatra, but I'll skip that. We don't have time. We have only 2 minutes remaining. Bahir Nrsimha, Hridaye Nrsimha. Devotees were distributing books in Wheeling, and some idiots, they got frustrated with these devotees. They got guns, and they were chasing the devotees who were distributing the books. So immediately these devotees, they started running away from the bookstall. They started running. These guys were chasing with guns. They were chasing in the streets of Wheeling. So bhagne lage, ek ke piche. One gully, they turned, the devotees turned, and they started running. Then all of a sudden, these guys who were chasing them, they stopped chasing them, and they were running in the opposite direction. These devotees didn't understand what was going on. One person, one of those gun guys, one of them, he came back and he asked these devotees, why are you keeping lions as pets? This is what that gun guy asked this devotees, and the devotees, the hair was standing on the end for them, like, when did we keep lions as pets? Who saw him? Later they realized that somehow these guys were chased by lions. And where did that lion come from? Jai Nrsimha. There are endless pastimes of how Nrsimhadev saved devotees. Endless pastime, especially Mayapur Nrsimhadev, Ahobila Nrsimhadev. One Mataji, she had cancer. She tried to commit suicide by jumping out of the Ugrastamba. She was alive, and this Ugrastamba is 3 kilometers hill. She was alive, and she was perfectly normal. Her cancer was cured. And the pujaris, she said that somebody was holding me. Somebody was holding me. So these pastimes like this, they're like millions. Okay, so I'm not going to go on and on about this. So if we carry the Lord in our hearts, Hridaye Nrsimha, then we will love ourselves, right? We will spread that love to everybody, and we will serve selflessly and fearlessly. To go back to this ever-loving, sweet Lord. This is, by the way, this is Ahobila Nrsimha, one of my favorite deities of all time. He has this eyes that are made of blue sapphires. When Pujari gives the arati, they shine as if the Lord is looking straight into your eyes. It's very beautiful, by the way. This is a cave. He's in a huge cave. That's why the name of this place is Ahobilam, which is like a big cave. Ahobilam and Ahobalam, which is unlimited strength of this Lord. Okay, to go back to this ever-loving sweet Lord, who can come in any form to save his devotees, and that love of Godhead is that ticket for us to go back home, back to Godhead. Actually, very bad judging, Prabhu. I need one more hour, but I'm not completed many of the pastimes that I planned to. But anyway, there is this verse from Lakshmana Shankaraula Stotram. Let's recite this and we'll end the class here. Samsara Sagara Vishala Karala Kala Nakagraha Grahana Nigraha Vigrahasya Vyagrasya Ragarasanor Piritasya Lakshmi Nrsimha Mama Dehi Karavalambam. In this ocean of worldly existence, my body has been eaten by large and dreadful crocodiles and whales that are time. I have been afflicted by the waves called passion and attachment to the organ of taste. O Lakshmi Nrsimha, please provide me the support of your hands. This is again from Lakshmana Shankaralam Stotram by Sripad Shankaracharya. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I'm really sorry for keeping you guys late. Thank you again. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Haribol, thank you so much, Raman Krishna Prabhu. I just didn't want this class to end. But that was amazing. There's so many things that you shared. Anybody has any questions or comments quickly? If anybody.
Krishna Ramana Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Paul Prabhu.
I am so happy to have been here for this class. I can see why you have come back for another time. Your association is just absolutely wonderful. I am very fond of Nrsimhadeva as well.
Yeah,
And
okay.
So many stories I had never heard before, and so much details that I hadn't realized. It was spectacular. Thank you so much, and I hope we can get part 2 of this, because I can see there's so much more to talk about. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. It's all because of people like Gaur Kumar Prabhu who shared all these, and so I'm speaking all this.
But we'll definitely have Raman Krishna Prabhu again on the channel. Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Anyone else? Shiva Chandra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol Prabhu.
Ramana Krishna Prabhu. Amazing class. Really, you made so many nice points. They were very inspiring. I was even making notes. Yeah, practically everything you shared was so amazing. I really found this point, Krishna Graha Grihita Atma, very inspiring, Prabhu. That as if possessed by Krishna Graha.
Yeah.
That was Prahlad Maharaj. Prabhu, how can we aspire for this very exalted position of being possessed by the Krishna Graha?
Yeah, that's a nice question for which I have 10-minute answer.
Please go ahead, Prabhuji.
Next week, Prabhu. No, not next week. Next class.
Okay. Okay. Prabhu.
It's 10:35, Prabhu.
Okay. Just a quick answer, maybe. Like
quick answer. Okay, so then you signed up for it. Now suffer. 10 minutes. First is prayers, Prabhuji. Look at this prayer that Bhaktivinoda Thakur offered. And he said that my sinful heart, 6 enemies headed by lust, perpetually reside. Duplicity, desire for fame, cunning. At the lotus feet of Lakshmi Nrsimha, I want to offer my prayers. Please, Bhagwan mujhe bachao. Please protect me. Prayers, power of prayers. Then whenever you meet devotees, ask them to pray for you, for everyone, right? And when anybody comes and asks you to pray, immediately wahin pe thoda chapal chhod ke offer prayers for them. This is the power of prayers, Prabhuji. When you take Krishna's name, Krishna is there. When you take Nrsimha's name, Nrsimha is there. And he's listening. It's because of our own, checking accounts, debit accounts, that we are unable to see. So something that I wanted to tell you was, it's not just, it should also reflect in our behavior. This is a very, very deep, long answer, Prabhuji, that I'm going to give is that, you remember Yudhishthir Maharaj and Yaksha episode? You remember that, right? So I'm not going to narrate that pastime, but I'm going to tell you what happened after that. Yaksha and Yudhishthir Maharaj conversation is a very, very beautiful conversation. Yeah. All of you, please read it this weekend. Yeah. Yudhishthir and Yaksha conversation. Please read it. It is freely available anywhere. Please read that conversation. What I want to tell you is a Brahmana, when Pandavas are in Vanavas, a Brahmana comes and he says that a deer came and took away our Yagya Samagri, the wooden sticks that were supposed to be offered. A deer came and took it away. Can you please get it? So one after the other, all the brothers, they go, they try to get the sticks back, and they all drink in the waters in the pond, and they all fell dead, right? Then Yudhishthir Maharaj comes. Yudhishthir Maharaj answers all the questions that Yaksha had. Then Yaksha, who is that Yaksha? That is Yamaraj. Yeah, Yamaraj asks this question to Yudhishthir Maharaj. Now this is where it begins. Please note this. Okay, this is where it begins. Who do you want back? Which brother you want back? This is what Yamaraj asks Yudhishthir Maharaj. Now Yudhishthir Maharaj is beaten so many times now. If he wants to take revenge against the Kauravas, he needs either Bhima or Arjuna. But you know who he asks, right? Who he asks, Prabhu?
Nakula?
Nakula.
Yeah.
Nakula, he asks. Then Yamaraj himself asks, why are you not asking for Bhima or Arjuna? You need them to win in the battle. Then Yudhishthir Maharaj says, I am the son of Kunti, and I stick to dharma. This is what Yudhishthir Maharaj says. And he says, I am one son alive from Kunti, and I want one son alive from Madri. Madri Putra is Nakula. This is what Yudhishthir Maharaj answers. Yamaraj is so impressed by this answer, and he's so impressed that he gives all the brothers back. Excellent. Okay. Now Yamaraj comes back again, and he says, I'm not satisfied. Please ask me for something. I'm not satisfied yet. Please ask me for something. At this point, Yudhishthir could ask. I mean, when I read this pastime, I was completely in tears, looking at this personality of Yudhishthir Maharaj. When Yamaraj asked second time, He could have asked for weapons. He could have asked for army. He could have actually asked for the whole kingdom back. He could have asked for so many things. He has gambled and all the blame is on him, okay? This is his consciousness right now. He's like insult, deprived completely. For this person, Yamraj is asking, what do you want? You know what Yudhishthira Maharaj asks? Can you please return the sticks of that Brahmana? This is culture, Prabhu. This is personality, this is behavior, this is character. Then Yamraj says, Baba, I was that deer. I took the sticks and I already have given it back to them. Or here, take it back. I'm still not satisfied. I want to give you something. Please ask. I'm still not satisfied. Yudhishthira Maharaj, at this point, he could have asked for something else, no? No. Then he asks, I want my heart to be free of impurities. I don't want my heart to have greed. Then Yamraj is like, Arey Baba, main tujhse pag gaya hu pura. You're really boring. You're frustrating. Yamraj says, hey, bhai, even now you're not asking. You are my son. Vidura is my expansion. Okay, you are already endowed with these qualities. Please do not worry. You already have these qualities. Don't worry. Ask me something. Itne baar पूछने के बाद, Yudhishthira Maharaj, after several times of asking, Yudhishthira Maharaj says, okay, all right, so then please, we have one more year left incognito. Just please keep us safely. Then we want to return to our kingdom. That's all he says. Then Yamraj is isko taste nahi hai. There is no use trying him. So then Yamraj is like, okay, fine. You will be in Virata's kingdom and you will be incognito. You will be safe. Do not worry. And then he leaves. So, Prabhu, when I was reading this pastime, Krishna consciousness is deep. Right? Adav Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti. All this will happen, but you have to constantly endeavor for them. It is very, very easy to wear the cap of a devotee, wear the hat of a devotee, put tilak, wear nice dhoti, अच्छे सफेद kurta pehno, very pure lago, right? It is very, very easy to do all these externals. But to keep your heart clean of impurities, you need to endeavor. You need to make a list of these things. That's my long answer. 10:43. Wow, okay, all right, I'm going to shut up. Sorry, Prabhu.
Wonderful answer, Prabhuji. Wonderful answer. Thank you so much. Any other final comments from anybody?
Thank you, Prabhuji, so much. Just one small thing. You quoted so many verses about Adi Shankaracharya. So it's really amazing to know that although he preached Mayavad, he was such a personalist at heart. Just one point. Apart from the wonderful class, Prabhu, Nectarian. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Actually, Gaurakumar Prabhu facilitated a call that I recorded for my father. My father is a Telugu Sanskrit scholar. He gave that lecture recently. Actually, when was that, Prabhuji? Last Monday?
Yes, Prabhu.
Last Monday it was. Last Monday was appearance day of Sripad Shankaracharya. And in that class, my father actually made a point to those who are hearing the class that if everything is non-dual, then where is Bhakta, where is Bhagavan, and where is Bhakti, right? So he actually made that point that Sripad Shankaracharya, he actually emphasized on Bhakti. He said Bhakti is the way. Bhakta and Bhagavan, they're there. But Bhakti is even greater than Bhagavan because this Bhakti attracts the most powerful Bhagavan. Bhakti attracts. Bhakti is more powerful than Bhakta or Bhagavan. So that Sripad Shankaracharya taught. So yes, Prabhu. Thank you for that comment, Hari Hari. Yeah.
And Prabhu, it was so nice to know how your daughter Lalita, she taught Radhe Govinda to her classmates.
Please bless them. I have one more addition, Lalita Vishakha now.
Jai. Thank you so much, Raman Krishna Prabhu. Very, 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 very grateful for your presence and wonderful class. Really liked it so much. I'm going to hear the recording tomorrow. So thank you so much again, Prabhu. We'll definitely have you again in June for sure.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all so much. And I'm sorry for taking long. Hare Krishna.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyo eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Grace Raman Krishna Prabhu ki jai.
Gaur Kumar Prabhuji ki Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.